ever wondered what would have happened if Naruto was captured by Pain during the Konoha invasion? Just how much would the story change? Would Pain finally achieve his goal of true peace? Would Naruto die or survive? And most importantly, how would this even happen in the first place? And how would the rest of the Naruto story play out? Well, to answer that question, we have to go all the way back to the moment when Pain pulled the ultimate Una reverse card on Naruto's Talk no Jutsu. You see, in the original timeline, after Pain impales Naruto with multiple chakra rods, we see him completely talking Naruto down, slowly shattering his ideology of what it truly means to achieve peace. Naruto is mentally cornered, his beliefs breaking apart right before his eyes. And just as Pain is about to completely break through Naruto's mental defenses, Hinata steps in. She rushes to Naruto's aid, attacks Pain, and is brutally destroyed. That moment is what pushes Naruto over the edge. Seeing Hinata fall causes him to snap, unleashing the Nine Tails and entering his berserk state. In this feral state, he relentlessly attacks Pain, overpowering the Deva Path and pushing the seal on the Nine Tails to its breaking point as more tails emerge. Just as Naruto is on the verge of fully releasing the beast, the imprint of his father's chakra he left behind just for this occasion intervenes, calming the chaos and helping Naruto reassert his will, regaining control. Naruto channels his pain into resolve rather than fury, returning to the fight with clarity and ultimately confronting Pain with his own powers rather than the ones of Kurama. And here is where we would normally see Naruto use his Talk no Jutsu, but instead of speaking to Pain, he instead speaks to you through this new free app called Polybuzz AI. And why do I personally love this app? Because it lets me speak with thousands of anime characters about anything I want. Whether I want to have a bit of fun with my favorite characters like Sasuke, Gojo, Luffy, or whether I want to step up the play a bit more and talk with Hinata, Nami, Robin, or Mitsuri, Polybuzz lets me do just that. What makes this app this great is the fact that it turns your wildest dreams and fantasies into reality by letting you speak with your favorite characters about pretty much anything you want. For example, the other day I felt like chatting with Hinata. Isn't it funny how you, aka the only girl who could use Byakugan and could see through things, was weirdly obsessed with Naruto? What do you have to say about that?
I wasn't obsessed, I just admired him from afar. He was so strong and kind.
Yeah, right. I'm sure that's the reason. But oh well, that was just one of the countless conversations you can have yourself with any anime character you want. And not just that, you can even create your very own AI characters, personalize their traits, and chat with them about anything you want. And let me just tell you that as an anime fan, you will never get bored of it. And use code SHIN55. You get access to 3 days premium membership completely free of charge. Use my link in the description down below to download Polybuzz AI and start chatting with your favorite anime characters today. Believe me, you will not regret it. But now, let's get back to our video. But in this timeline, none of that happens. Just as Hinata is about to intervene, she's stopped, this time by Neji, who tells her it's too dangerous and urges her to believe in Naruto. And because Hinata doesn't intervene this time around, this becomes a huge change from the original story. Naruto unlocking the Nine-Tails seal never happens. That emotional moment when he finally confronts his dad Minato never happens either. Since Naruto doesn't go berserk and nearly break the seal, Pain is able to fully break through Naruto's mental barrier. And once that happens, Pain successfully captures Naruto, capturing the Nine Tails in the process. Naruto's capture leads to a lot of deaths. Characters like Kakashi, Shizune, and thousands of Konoha Shinobi who died during the invasion are never revived because Naruto never gets the chance to find Nagato and Talk no Jutsu him into using the Samsara of Heavenly Life technique to revive everyone. With Kakashi gone, the story takes a completely different turn. And as for the reason why, well, you'll understand that a little bit later. Just as Pain is about to take Naruto away, the village gathers what little strength it has left, summoning the remaining Shinobis like Might Guy and Yamato in a desperate attempt to rescue Naruto. However, the moment they reach the battlefield, Obito steps out of the shadows and uses Kamui on Pain, his 6 reanimated corpses, and Naruto to take them to the Kamui dimension. But that isn't all that Obito does. Immediately after pulling them out, he rushes straight to Kakashi's corpse to reclaim his Sharingan, only to realize it's already been taken by Danzo. With Naruto captured and characters like Shizune and Kakashi dead, the entire village is left in shambles. Tsunade falls into a coma, and with no one strong enough or trusted enough to take the Hokage seat, this vacuum of power becomes a blessing for Danzo, who was appointed temporary Hokage of the Leaf. Danzo immediately orders the shinobi to abandon any attempt to rescue Naruto for the time being, shifting all focus toward rebuilding the village. In his eyes, saving Naruto isn't a priority, it's a liability. Meanwhile, at the Akatsuki headquarters, Obito traps Naruto inside the Kamui dimension. The Nine Tails must be sealed last, since sealing it too early would disrupt the chakra balance of the Geto statue. That's why the Akatsuki have been collecting the tailed beasts in chronological alphabetical order. At this point, the remaining members are Kisame, Zetsu, Konan, Nagato, and Obito. Obito also keeps Naruto's capture hidden from Sasuke, knowing the truth could spark rebellion. He wants Sasuke to remain fixated on Danzo, using that obsession as the perfect opportunity to reclaim Kakashi's eye. Now, when it comes to the 5 Kage Summit, everything plays out almost exactly the same as in the original timeline, up to the point when Kisame is sent by Obito to recapture the 8 Tails. Just like before, Kisame is defeated by the 4th Raikage and Killer Bee. From there, nothing changes. Sasuke clashes with the Raikage, faces Gaara, and proceeds to Oro Farm in front of the 5 Kage. He almost dies and is saved by Obito, who then declares the 4th Great Ninja War. Sasuke eventually confronts Danzo and kills him, finally getting revenge for his brother and for his clan. However, just as he's about to leave, he's stopped by Sakura. She begs him to return to the village and tells him the truth. Kakashi is dead, and Naruto has been captured by the Akatsuki. This completely shocks Sasuke. Before he can even process the information, Obito appears and immediately sends Sasuke to another location. This infuriates him. Sasuke demands to know why Obito kept this information from him and asks where Naruto is being hidden. Obito dismisses him, saying that it's none of his concern. This pisses Sasuke off, but after the intense battle with Danzo, he decides to hold back for now. While Sasuke rests, Obito moves in, heading straight for Danzo's body and finally reclaiming Kakashi's eye. And that single act changes everything. With Kakashi's eye reclaimed, Obito now possesses both versions of Kamui, pushing his power to an absolutely broken level. You see, there are 2 versions of Kamui. The one Obito already had is the short-range Kamui, which allows him to phase through attacks and teleport himself by slipping into the Kamui dimension. Kakashi's Sharingan, on the other hand, holds the long-range Kamui, the ability to warp targets into that same dimension without physical contact, functioning almost like a sniper attack that tears space itself open. Now, with both eyes, Obito would be literally unstoppable. He could combine them seamlessly, turning Kamui into something close to Sukuda's cleave, except instead of cutting flesh, it erases space itself. Not to mention that now Obito has access to the Susanoo. And let me tell you, this Susanoo is among the strongest ones in the entire Naruto series. If you recall, during the fight with Kaguya, this summon can go toe-to-toe with a literal god, and has abilities that can seriously harm even her. To be more precise, this Susanoo manifests as a complete body Susanoo. It possesses immense size, speed, and defensive capability, rivaling the strongest versions used by Uchiha legends. Its most defining trait is its mastery of space-time ninjutsu. It allows its user to imbue the Susanoo's attacks with Kamui, allowing its weapons to warp anything they touch into another dimension. This makes its strikes virtually unavoidable and able to bypass any conventional defense. The Susanoo wields Kamui-enhanced shuriken and blades that erase targets on contact, even affecting beings protected by godlike durability, such as Kaguya. Defensively, its body can phase parts of itself using Kamui, rendering enemy attacks ineffective by letting them pass through or be warped away. Kakashi can also use Kamui from within the Susanoo to teleport himself or others, giving it unparalleled mobility and tactical flexibility. Now, when it comes to the upgraded Kamui that is now in play, Obito immediately turns on Nagato, because their goals don't line up at all. Nagato's all about creating peace by forcing everyone to experience the same level of pain, thinking that'll stop wars forever. But Obito's pushing for his infinite Tsukuyomi plan, where the whole world gets trapped in an endless genjutsu, living out perfect dreams without any real conflict. Nagato, who's already barely holding on from overusing the Rinnegan, in his fight with Naruto is at a very vulnerable state. You see, Nagato's body has been pushed to its limits for years, controlling the 6 paths from afar, and capturing Naruto didn't help. It only made him question if this path of destruction is really leading to the peace he and Yahiko once dreamed of. Obito, always the schemer, senses this crack in Nagato's resolve and knows he can't let it grow into full-on rebellion. If Nagato starts seeing Naruto as a symbol of hope instead of a tool, the entire Akatsuki plan could fall apart. Right back at the Akatsuki hideout, Obito confronts Nagato without wasting a second. Nagato tries to hold his ground, summoning the Deva Path body for protection. He fires off a Shinra Tensei to blast Obito away, but Obito just phases through it using the short-range Kamui, then counters by sniping Nagato's legs with the long-range version, warping them directly into the dimension. This leaves Nagato screaming in pain, his already frail body now completely immobilized. Konan dives in with her paper bomb assault, turning the air into a storm of explosives, sheets of paper folding into deadly shapes and detonating in rapid succession. But Obito warps her whole form into Kamui before she can trigger the full detonation. The hideout shakes from the partial explosions, rocks falling from the ceiling as the fight intensifies. Nagato, now crippled and fading fast, has no chance left. Obito closes in and extracts the Rinnegan eyes right then and there, sealing them for his own use down the line. The extraction is brutal. Nagato's screams echo through the base as Obito rips the eyes out, blood spilling everywhere. Black Zetsu slithers over and absorbs Nagato's body, keeping it ready for any future Edo Tensei schemes. Just like that, Obito's in total control of the Akatsuki, with Zetsu handling the loose ends and feeding false info to whatever remnants are out there. Konan is weakened and on her last breath and gets sent to the Kamui dimension. Her devotion to Nagato crumbles after witnessing Obito's cold betrayal, so she starts communicating with Naruto in the dimension. She breaks down Akatsuki's inner workings, the exact vulnerabilities in the Geto statue, like how its chakra flow can be disrupted if the sealing order is messed up, Obito's hidden identity as the guy masquerading as Madara, explaining his Uchiha roots, and the mask he wears to hide his true face, and why the tailed beast sealing has to follow that specific order to maintain balance. Naruto takes it all in, using it to brainstorm escape routes while slowly building trust with Kurama and Konan. He asks her questions about the Renegade's powers, how Pain's paths worked, and even about Yahiko's original dream, piecing together a bigger picture of the Akatsuki's fractured history. Over in Konoha, Danzo's death shakes things up hard. Tsunade pulls out of her coma enough to function, but she's not at full strength. But she wastes no time dismantling Danzo's root network, ordering raids on their hidden bases and exposing their secret operations to the village council. This creates internal tension, with some shinobi loyal to Danzo resisting, but Tsunade's authority wins out. She redirects resources towards finding and rescuing Naruto, allocating scouts and intel teams to track any Akatsuki movements. Gaara and the Sand Village also aid them with everything they need, sending supplies like sealing scrolls and even Temari for Winjutsu support. Eventually, a team is put together with Shikamaru taking the lead on strategy, pulling the Konoha 11 into covert planning sessions. He breaks down Obito's Kamui based on eyewitness accounts from the invasion, realizing it's all about dimensional shifts and how it manipulates space-time. Shikamaru spends nights diagramming possible encounters, using shadows to simulate warps in training. Ino displays her mind jutsu on snagged Zetsu parts for deep intel dives, extracting memories of Akatsuki bases and plans. Choji uses his expansion to cover ground on recon, growing to giant size to scan vast areas quickly. Kiba and Akamaru sniff out anomaly trails from the invasion, following faint chakra scents that linger in the air. Shino sets insect swarms for wide area monitoring, Bugs relaying back real-time data on enemy movements, and Tenten equips the team with custom scroll weapons tailored for space disruption, like kunai infused with sealing tags to potentially lock dimensions. Hinata blames herself for not going to help Naruto when she had the chance, and pushes her training to the limit, sharpening her Byakugan to pick up on faint chakra distortions that might signal Kamui entry points, and promising to save Naruto this time around. She trains day and night, her eyes straining to see through veils of space, visualizing Naruto's chakra signature in her mind. Neji backs her up, crafting new Hyuga moves that blend his rotation with her precision strikes to potentially jam dimensional gates, practicing combos where he spins to create barriers while she pokes through weak spots. Guy drills Lee in higher gates without Kakashi's input, focusing on speed bursts to outpace phasing, pushing Lee to open the fifth gate repeatedly until he's exhausted. Yamato experiments with woodjutsu barriers, simulating Kamui walls to test containment methods, growing structures that mimic dimensional folds, and testing their durability against mock attacks. Trapped in the Kamui dimension, Naruto faces total isolation, but he adapts quickly. The blank void saps his energy, an endless white space with no up or down, no sound except his own breathing, but he pulls traces of natural chakra through micro rifts Konan identifies, fueling partial sage mode. He meditates for hours, balancing the energy to keep his mind sharp. He talks to Kurama not with demands, but with honesty, about loneliness, how it feels to be shunned by the village, about being used as a weapon, about pain, the kind that comes from losing friends like Jiraiya. Kurama resists at first, but eventually cracks, growling responses about his own centuries of being sealed and hated. Without Killer Bee's guidance, Naruto still manages to access a stable early KCM1 and learns to control Kurama's chakra. However, due to the injuries Konan received from Obito, she eventually dies in the Kamui dimension, her last words urging Naruto to break the cycle of hate. Meanwhile, Sasuke is hit hard by Sakura's reveal and decides to rebel against Obito. Even though he hates Naruto, he still respects him and still believes that if anyone is to kill him, it should be by his own hands. This realization pushes Sasuke to ask Obito one last time for Naruto's location, only to get warped off. Pissed, he sends Karin to inform the Hidden Leaf Village on Obito's Kamui and how it works, before fleeing the scene. Karin, with her sensing abilities, sneaks close to Konoha undercover, relaying the dimensional details without revealing Sasuke's full involvement. Once Karin reaches the Hidden Leaf, she is immediately captured. Under interrogation, she reveals everything: Obito's Kamui dimension, how it phases and warps, and the fact that Naruto is still alive, trapped inside it. Hearing this changes everything. Shikamaru, along with the remaining Leaf strategists like Inoichi and Shikaku, immediately begin devising a plan to retrieve Naruto from the Kamui dimension, cross-referencing Karin's info with their own intel to map out potential rifts. Moving Moving into the war arc, the events play out mostly the same as the original timeline. Obito and Kabuto temporarily ally, and the Edo Tensei is used to revive powerful shinobi like Itachi and Madara Uchiha. The battles between the reincarnated shinobi unfold largely the same, with divisions clashing against undead Kages. In the original timeline, Naruto was the catalyst for the war's biggest turning point. Itachi had only escaped the Edo Tensei because he intercepted Naruto's shadow clone to test his resolve regarding Sasuke. When Naruto proved his bond was unshakable, it triggered the failsafe Itachi had planned months prior. A crow, hidden inside Naruto's own body, emerged and cast Kodo Amatsukami. This legendary genjutsu used Shisui Uchiha's eye to overwrite Kabuto's control, turning Itachi into a rogue protector of the leaf. But in this timeline, that crow remains dormant in the dark of the Kamui dimension. Without Naruto there to trigger the eye, the failsafe never activates. Itachi remains a perfect puppet in Kabuto's hands. His tactical genius and the power of the Susanoo used to slaughter the very shinobi he died to protect. Even worse, Nagato, no longer sealed by Itachi's Totsuka blade, remains on the battlefield as a full-powered weapon of mass destruction. Itachi's Amaterasu burns through ranks unchecked, and Nagato's Rinnegan pulls souls and summons massive creatures, decimating allied forces. This becomes a massive problem for the Shinobi Alliance. Two monsters like Itachi and Nagato fighting without restraint drastically shifts the balance of power, with divisions reporting heavy losses as Itachi's Susanoo cuts swaths and Nagato's Chibaku Tensei crushes battalions. Meanwhile, Madara is reincarnated just as before, effortlessly tearing through thousands of shinobi before confronting the 5 Kage and completely overwhelming them. Madara's perfect Susanoo levels mountains. Tsunade's healing is pushed to the limits as Onoki's dust release barely scratches him. The war escalates into the clash with Obito, who releases the 6-tailed beasts to wreak havoc across the battlefield. The beasts rampage, tailed beast bombs exploding like nukes, allied shinobi scattering in panic. However, unknown to Obito, the Leaf's plan to retrieve Naruto is finally set in motion. Through precise coordination and strategy, Shikamaru and the others succeed in pulling Naruto out of the Kamui dimension, using a combo of Yamato's wood to anchor a rift, Hinata's Byakugan to spot it, and Gai's speed to force it open. That single act immediately turns the tide. Naruto had been conserving chakra the entire time he was trapped, and the moment he returns, he unleashes a massive wave of Nine-Tails cloaked shadow clones across every front at once. Clones charge into battles, Rasen shurikens flying, boosting morale as shinobi cheer. Naruto's back. He then exposes Obito's true identity to Might Guy and the rest of the Alliance, revealing the masked man was never Madara, detailing his Uchiha origins and Rin betrayal. Naruto eventually confronts Itachi and Nagato in the midst of the chaos. And finally, history corrects itself. The crow inside Naruto activates, allowing Itachi to break free using Shisui's eye. Together, Naruto and Itachi defeat Nagato, Naruto's Talk no Jutsu softening Nagato's resolve before Itachi's Genjutsu seals him. After which, Itachi heads straight for Kabuto's hideout. On his way, he encounters Sasuke, and the brothers defeat Kabuto to end the Edo Tensei once again. Sasuke's Chidori clashing with Kabuto's snakes in a fierce exchange. Sasuke then revives Orochimaru and orders him to reanimate the previous Hokage, Hashirama, Tobirama, Hiruzen, and Minato. The Hokage emerge, their wisdom guiding the alliance. Hashirama's wood-binding beasts, Tobirama's water slicing through Zetsu. From there, the war proceeds similarly to the original timeline. Naruto frees the tailed beasts from Obito's control, pulling their chakra with Kurama's help. And because of the bond he formed with Kurama while trapped in the Kamui dimension, sharing stories of pain and isolation, Kurama finally entrusts him with full access to his power. This allows Naruto to enter his complete Nine-Tails mode for the first time, the golden form radiating across the field. Everything moves smoothly until Obito merges the chakra of the captured tail beasts and fragments of the 8 and 9 tails to transform into the 10 tails Jinchuriki. His form warps, eyes glowing with infinite power, space bending around him. The revived Hokage join Naruto in battle, and Minato's arrival leads to an emotional revelation as Naruto finally learns that Minato is his father. Their moment, however, is brief, interrupted by the weight of the war and Obito's relentless assault. Biju bombs raining down. Naruto shares his chakra with the entire alliance, orange cloaks enveloping shinobi, keeping them alive and in the fight as they push back Zetsu hordes. He manages to break through Obito's mental defenses, forcing him to confront his mistakes. Rin's death, Kakashi's guilt, ultimately turning Obito against Madara. The battle continues. Might Guy faces Madara using the 8 gates, his body igniting in red vapor, kicks shattering Susanoo. He nearly dies, and Madara survives just as before, mocking Guy's sacrifice. Naruto and Sasuke are then summoned by the Sage of Six Paths, Hagoromo, and receive Six Paths power. Naruto saves Guy's life with Yanko bang release, and the fight resumes. As the battle rages on, Madara ends up casting the infinite Tsukuyomi, the moon's eye blooming, putting everyone except Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura under a genjutsu. Dreams ensnare the world, Shinobi frozen in bliss. Everything appears to be going according to Madara's plan, until Black Zetsu betrays him by impaling him from behind, infusing chakra into his body and transforming him into Kaguya. The final battle becomes drastically more difficult without the double Mangekyo Sharingan. Since Kakashi is dead in this timeline, there's no Kamui support to counter Kaguya's hacks. Her dimensions shift, lava and ice worlds trapping them. When Kaguya launches her all-killing ash bones, spears flying like death itself. Neither Naruto nor Sasuke has a way to deflect or phase through them. Without a tactical opening, the inevitable happens. One of them is struck, Sasuke taking the hit to shield Naruto. His body is reduced to drifting gray ash, Rinnegan fading. With one of the two sealers gone, the Six Paths Chibaku Tensei fails. The sun and moon seals are rendered useless, as both are required simultaneously for the sealing to work. Kaguya stands victorious over the battlefield, the last flicker of shinobi resistance extinguished, her rabbit horns casting shadows over the ruins. The infinite Tsukuyomi is never undone. The pale light of the moon remains cast over the world forever, everyone trapped inside. Hinata dreaming of a peaceful life with Naruto, Gaara ruling a united sand, Shikamaru in endless strategy games, and countless others remaining locked in their perfect dream worlds, unaware that their reality has ended. As the years bleed into decades, their bodies are slowly drained of chakra and absorbed by the suffocating roots of the god tree, tendrils wrapping around limbs, siphoning life force bit by bit. As their memories and individuality fade, they undergo a horrific metamorphosis, transforming into mindless white Zetsu, skin paling, eyes blank, bodies twisting into plant-like forms. This was always the true purpose of the infinite Tsukuyomi, not to provide eternal peace, but to act as a biological factory, churning out an army for Kaguya's eternal vigil. Kaguya's army is finally ready, rows of Zetsu standing silent, and she sits alone on her throne of roots, waiting in the silence for the inevitable arrival of Otsutsukis like Momoshiki and Kinishiki, her eyes scanning dimensions for threats. The age of shinobi is over, and Boruto never happens. Now that was a crazy what if, but if you want to see something even crazier, then click on this video where I covered what would have happened if Naruto was an Uchiha. Go on, check it out!